Chapter 8. Code Silver. Time stands still as you stare down the barrel of Miss Morton's gun, the steel wavering slightly in her trembling hands. Miss Morton? Shut up! You promised you would be there! You promised! Miss Morton, please, put the weapon down and we can talk about this. Talk? Like she talked to me? What should I say? Lied. You told me your mother was in the hospital. Tears streamed down her face as she advances, the gun trained on your chest. I felt so guilty for being angry that I even tried to send flowers. Miss Morton, imagine my surprise when I called around and there were no patients with your name. The betrayal in her voice makes you cringe, and as her finger tightens on the trigger, you fight to keep your voice steady despite your racing heart. Miss Morton, you're right. I lied to your face, and I'm sorry. Mercy or a reason there? She's in an emotional state. I don't know what happened to her son, so let's do mercy. You have every right to feel betrayed. Your words seem to catch her off guard, and the gun wavers slightly. What? You trusted me with your son's life, and I let you down. For a moment, you see the scared mother beneath her anger. Then why did you do it? There's no excuse. I made a bad choice. You stare down the barrel of the gun, waiting for more anger, shouting, and only for Miss Morton to relax her arm. Just slightly. No, it's more to it than that. There has to be. My world was crumbling. You threw me a lifeline when no one else would. You cared. So something had to be more important than following through, and I want to know what it was. As you open your mouth to push back to say that nothing was more important than the oath you took and the career you chose, a single face appears in your mind, and the real reason you left that night washes over you. I didn't want Dom to be hurt, so much so that I chose him over my patient. Even as you think it, you realize all the times that's proven to be true. Whether it was rushing out of work to confront him, or faking a death in the family to save Neil. When it mattered most, your focus wasn't on your patients. It was on Dom and the family. The realization hits you like a physical blow, leaving you breathless. She's right. When did I stop caring? When did this become just another job? Next to you, Dr. Richard's face clouds over. This isn't the time for soul searching. We have a patient on the table. Why should I care about your patient when she didn't care about my son? Because he never asked to be a part of this. He's just another patient who trusted me with his life. His children entrusted me with his life. Her gun wavers as understanding crosses her face. Children? I've already failed one patient. Please don't make me fail another. Beside you, Dr. Richard goes still, his hands freezing over the surgical site. Did you say children? You realize your mistake too late as he straightens, his eyes narrowing behind his surgical mask. Mr. Sanchez is a widower, no children, no next of kin. Dude, if I'm literally lying to save my life, are you serious? You want to Jesus. What the hell is he talking about? Thanks. You just wanted to pull the trigger, don't you? But next to you, Dr. Richards is lost in his own rising panic, staring at the exposed brain tissue with fresh horror. These markers, the placement, I thought things looked off from my last appointment. This isn't my patient at all. Dr. Richards, do you have any idea what you've done? The liability, the risk? He starts pacing, bloody hands held up as his mind races, and then, I'm done. I'm sewing him up and walking away before this turns into a wrongful death suit. He still needs our help. We can't just leave him like this. We aren't doing anything. His voice resonates around the room, and you feel stares from Miss Morton and the rest of the surgical crew boring into you. I am sewing whoever this is back up, and then I'm marching down to the admin office and reporting you. You will never sit for your boards. Now get out of my OR. But he thrusts a gloved hand at the door and you stagger back, only for it to open. Dr. Richards, your daughter's on... The words freeze in her throat as Miss Morton swings the gun towards her. Huh? Oh, God. The nurse's eyes dart between the gun and the exit, her whole body trembling, and slowly you reach out your hand to her. Stay calm. Everything's gonna be fine. I should appeal to her training. You're a nurse. You've handled worse than this. But your words don't reach her. Her eyes are locked on the weapon, pupils blown with terror. I can't. Listen to me, just breathe. Dr. Richards takes a careful step towards her as Miss Morton's gun follows the movement. Don't move. But it's too late. The nurse bolts and as Dr. Richards lunges to stop her, Miss Morton fires. No. The shot goes wide, missing the nurse, but catching Dr. Richards in the chest. She skitters around the corner, leaving him to crumple to the floor in a pool of blood. I didn't... I was trying to... Yeah, shoot the nurse? Yeah, we know. I know, but bullets don't know what you mean, and right now he's bleeding out. Please, let me help him. You take a tentative step towards him, and a gun follows your movement. Stay where you are! You didn't mean to hit him. You were aiming for the nurse. Her hands shake harder, but you see the truth of your words hit home. I just wanted to stop her from... On the floor, Dr. Richards' breathing grows more labored. Take another step. As you step closer to Dr. Richards, your heart pounds in your chest. You just wanted to stop her from telling on you. I get it. I said stay back. What are you gonna do, shoot him again or shoot me? All of this is because you're scared, but he doesn't deserve to die for that. The impact hits you like a punch to the shoulder, spinning you backwards as white-hot pain explodes through your chest. Really? No, I didn't mean... You shouldn't have moved! Where's Dom when you need him? You press your hand to the wound, watching red bloom across your scrubs as you struggle to stay upright. Maybe not, but neither of us can take it back now. As Dr. Richards breathing his final breath, you feel your heart sink. I'm so sorry. Overhead, an alarm blares, its warning piercing throughout the hospital as an automated voice makes an announcement. Code Silver in OR2. I repeat, Code Silver in OR2. The alarm seems to push her close to the edge, her eyes wild with panic as she swings the gun back at you. You can stop now. You force yourself to remain calm despite the gun trained on you. Sarah, calm down and cancel the announcement. The scrub nurse nods shakily and moves to the phone as you turn back to Miss Morton. My first priority is still my patient. With Dr. Richards gone, I need to call in help. No police. No police, I promise. Miss Morton's eyes narrow as you pull out your phone. Put it on speaker, I want to hear everything. Her fingers tremble as you dial his number, mind racing. I need to let Dom know what's happening, but one wrong word and she'll know I'm not calling for medical help. I'll need to keep it subtle. Then his voice fills the room. Great. Is everything all right? Dom. The coffee machine is acting up in OR2. I need a surgical consult. There's a woman with a gun in OR2. They clearly aren't going to have a coffee machine, and we don't want to say woman in OR2. I need a surgical consult. I need a surgical consult in OR2. Things got hairy with a patient from this morning. Which patient from this morning? I saw like 6. The one I asked you to take my scuts so that I could handle? For a moment, there's nothing but silence on the other end, and you can practically hear him piecing everything together. You mean your brain surgery patient? There's been an issue? Yes, one that desperately requires your assistance. I think I understand. On my way. With a sigh, you hang up and Miss Morton turns your eyes skeptical. A consult during surgery. Yes, those actually do happen if the patient's stable. Sometimes complications arise, that's why we need all hands on deck. You look in her eyes, fighting to keep your hands from shaking as she studies you, only for Dom to push through the doors in his scrubs. Miss Morton lowers the gun before he can see it, and Dom's gaze locks on you. You called Dr. Gould? Yes, Miss Morton. This is Nurse Coyne. He's going to help me out here today. As you look between Morton and Dom, you take the smallest step to the side. Dom's eyes flit to Dr. Richards' body, and immediately understanding washes over his face. Yes, I am. All at once, Dom draws his weapon, and a shot rings out. The hell is going on in here? Dom, please. You reach out to him, and the warmth shoots down your arm. His eyes catch on your bleeding shoulder. She hurt you? Immediately reaches for gauze and presses it to your wound. Pain blossoms around his unwavering hand, but just as you're about to jerk away, he pulls you into his arms. You're okay. I got you. His voice is soothing, as if he's trying to console you, and you can't help but melt into his grasp. It's a graze, I'm fine. I'm just glad you're here. Who knows what would have happened if you weren't. Something dangerous flashes in his expression, and Dom pulls away his weapon trained on Miss Morton with deadly precision. She knows, don't you, lady? As Dom advances, Miss Morton lifts her gun, only for him to rip it away and throw it to the side. On your knees, now. He presses the muzzle of his weapon to Miss Morton's temple. You see the fear set in. Dom, I think that's enough, don't you? I don't, actually. You'll come to learn this, Gray, but we're not really big on forgiveness in the mob. The mob? But she's a doctor. She's my doctor working on my father. Your father? You have no idea who you're messing with, do you? Miss Morton shakes her head, and Dom sinks into a crouch, looking deep in her eyes. I'm Dominic Coyne, head of the Coyne family mob. He uses the gun to tip her chin in your direction. Miss Morton's eyes flit between you and Xander. Those two mean a lot to me, and to put their lives in danger without even thinking twice. He raises his weapon, aiming right in Miss Morton's forehead. So the closest thing you're going to get to mercy is a bullet right between the eyes. Bye-bye. Dom, wait. The panic in your voice echoes around the room, and his eyes meet yours. Give me one reason why I shouldn't open her up and see what's inside. Quickly. As his gaze slides back to Miss Morton's quaking frame, you rack your brain. Okay, so Jason needs his mother. I need your help with the surgery. I'm asking you not to. So I need to do the Jason needs his mother. You of all people know what it's like to grow up without one dumb. She should have thought of that before. Before what? Before doing anything she could to protect her child? Dude, how was she protecting her kid if he's still alive and she was gonna go to prison? What? No, I don't agree with this logic. Can you honestly say you wouldn't do the same for your loved ones? I mean, you're doing it right now. Something flickers in his expression, and you take the opportunity to sneak closer, your hand finding his and lowering it. He turns to Miss Morton, eyes blazing. Sit down and don't move. Make this harder than it needs to be, and I change my mind. As Miss Morton sinks into a nearby chair, you turn to Dom. I need you scrubbed in. If your dad's going to get the surgery, we're going to be the ones who give it to him. Never mind the neurologist on the floor who died. Could still be saved. But, oh well. You glance around at the near-empty surgical suite. The rest of the scrub nurses are long gone, and the only anesthesiologist peeks out from behind the drape. Tell me what to do. You guide Dom to the scrub sink, walking him through the meticulous process of surgical hand washing. Yeah, you'll be scrubbing for at least 3 minutes. First, we scrubbed for 5 full minutes. I was close. Every finger, every nail bed, in slow, deliberate circles. You demonstrate on your own hands, and as Dom mirrors your movements, you reach out to adjust his grip on the brush. His breath catches as your fingers linger on his, guiding the motion, and you find yourself hyper-aware of every point of contact. After this, there's no touching anything that isn't sterile, so if you need to scratch an itch, now's the time. Well, that's what nurses are for. Dom hesitates for a moment, then catches your hand under the running water, squeezing gently before letting go. Ready? The gesture is so tender it almost breaks your heart, but you force yourself to focus as you take your places at the surgical table. You think back to Dr. Richard's careful instruction, each step crystal clear in your mind. Brain surgery, you know exactly what to do. Then what the hell was the point of having him? He's dead on the floor. First, we'll need to identify the margins of the glial tissue, then test each area before we cut. To do that, I need you to help wake him up so we can map his responses. You know, the anesthesiologist who begins to reducing the sedation, and motion for Dom to lean over the drape. Dad, can you hear me? For a moment, there's nothing. Then slowly, Xander's eyes flutter open, clearer than you've seen them in weeks. Dominic, is that you? Yeah, Pop. It's been a while. As you get sight of Dom's warm smile, you can't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Mr. Coyne, my name is Dr. Gould, and I need to map the sensory responses to establish our surgical boundaries. Tell me what you experience. Your hands move with practiced confidence as you prepare the prods. I should test the area connected to the... We'll go with visual processing? With practiced precision, you probe the region. Xander's gazes at Dom with soft eyes. I never realized, but you look so much like your mother. Dad. In a surgical mask. How does that work? Before he can finish, Xander reaches a hand out to brush Dom's brow, and his eyes sink close, reveling in the touch. I miss my Danella. She's not yours anymore, Dad. Not for a while. You poke around, noting where the response begins to dull and mark your surgical boundary. Xander latches on to a memory. I miss those Sundays when the whole family got together. Your mother would dance around the kitchen, cooking, singing, and we'd eat. All of us. I was a kid the last time we did that. We hadn't even opened the casino yet. As you finish your test, you glance up to find Dom's expression full of joy, years of tension having melted away. The way they're connecting, it's clear Dom really misses his dad. Maybe I could take a little longer with the testing. It would be a chance to give them some real time together. Diamond Choice, I hate you so much. You toss a smile over the drape. Why don't you tell me more about the Sundays? Right, don't you think we should focus on the surgery? I think I need more precise measurements of the areas I should cut, and the only way to get them is to hear from Mr. Coin. So, if you don't mind. Motion for Xander to proceed. Next to you, Dom settles in, hanging on his every word. Those family dinners didn't allow my ex-wife. Always insisted everyone be there, no matter what. I remember that. We had a house full every weekend. As you prepare to test another area, notice how Dom's expression softens at the memory. Each area test seems to trigger some memories. Maybe I can use that to help map out the margins and get to know Dom a little better. I should stimulate his motor functions, a perfect part of his hearing center, another visual region. You carefully probe Xander's visual cortex. It's so pretty. What are you seeing, Mr. Coin? The light streaming through the dining room windows at sunset. I never noticed how beautiful it was. Mama was a stickler about serving on time, so every Sunday at sunset we'd all be sat in the dining room. The nostalgia in Dom's expression takes your breath away. No wonder these dinners meant so much to both of you. You move your probe to a new region, carefully watching Xander's reactions. Everything's going dark, but I see lights. Twinkling lights? Could they be stars? Yes, yeah. They remind me of the night I taught Dominic about constellations out on the pier. He was so determined to memorize them all. Because you said a coin man should know how to navigate by starlight, because he never knew when he might need it. You took it so seriously, and the whole time I was joking. Joke's on you because I made you spend hours out on that old wood with me and my star charts until I got it all down. As the two of them reminisce, you shoot Dom a look across the operating table. Dom, I never pegged you as an astrologer. Somehow that tracks, nerd. Who knew you were so gullible? I'm gonna go with nerd. Are you making fun of me, Gray? Of course not. I'm just saying I can totally see a younger you with a telescope learning the difference between Orion's Belt and the Big Dipper. And yet I think you're making fun of me. Despite the teasing tone, there's a warmth in his eyes that makes your pulse quicken. Me never. I think it's cute. Cute. Dom scoffs, and the husky tone in his voice sends a shiver down your spine. You know, watching the two of you reminds me of how Danila and I used to be. She challenged me, keep me on my toes. It frustrated me to no win, but it also made me a better man. That's because that's the purpose of a woman. Literally and figuratively. A good woman will always make a man want to be better. The flush washes over Dom as your eyes flit back to the surgical field. Dad Gray is the new Coin family doctor, not my, He trails off, trying to find the words, and instead finding your gaze across the surgical field. I think what Dom's trying to say is we're not seeing each other. Why not? Take it from someone who knows. Life is short. I spent mine hungering for power, and at the end of the day, I'm going in a pine box. Just the same as anyone else. Dad, don't say that. You're gonna be fine. Now, maybe. But death comes for us all, Dom. To be a mob boss is to know that, to accept it. Well, when you're better, you can teach me all about it, because I made a mess of being a boss, Dad. As if feeling the weight of your gaze, Dom glances up at you, then around at Miss Morton and the anesthesiologist. Never mind, it can wait. You take a quick glance at the clock. Every minute we have him open increases the risk of complications. It's been too long already, we need to finish up. Subtly, you lower your voice, so only Dom can hear. Dom, we're running out of time, so if there's anything you want to say, It's gotta be now.
I'd rather not have an audience, Gray.
Unless you're fine with the last time you really got to talk to him truly being the last, I wouldn't take the chance. It's a complicated surgery, and pride isn't worth regret. If you open up, they'll hear you be vulnerable, but if you don't, he might never. Is that something you're willing to risk? Glances at his father, taking in the various machines and tubes attached to him. As the message sinks in, Dom's face falls.
It's not fair.
Life isn't fair, my dude. The truth really is. Something vulnerable flickers in his expression, and with a sigh, he leans down.
Dad, I've been trying my best, but sometimes I wonder if I'm the right person to lead the family. I don't know if I'm strong enough or if I'm making the right decisions.
You were born to lead the family, so lead them.
You say that like it's easy, but how?
Dominic, you're smarter than I ever was. Stronger, too. But none of that means anything without the right people surrounding you.
His eyes flick meaningfully to you.
Hold on to this one. Even when she drives you crazy.
Dad, I don't think you're hearing me. I need help with managing the family. What does that have to do with Gray?
All the family needs is someone to keep them on the straight and narrow. But to do that, you need someone to keep your heart in the right place. Once you work that out, everything else will fall into place. Let her be your North Star.
Dom's gaze falls over you, and for a moment your heart races in your chest, and then...
But make sure you close the refrigerator, Dominic. You and Neil left it open yesterday, and the milk spoiled.
What?
Dad?
I think it's time for you to rest, Mr. Coyne. You nod at the anesthesiologist, and as Xander goes under again, Dom releases a shuddering breath.
Of course I ask him for help, and all I get are ramblings of a madman.
No. Let's get him back, and then you can ask him everything you need, alright? His eyes meet yours fiercely, and as he nods, you lower your gaze to the surgical field. Dom clasps his father's hand, but even as the words leave his lips, Xander's gone, sedated again, and you take a deep breath. Time to cut. With careful precision, you begin excising the marked tissue, your movements slow and deliberate. Almost there. Finally, you cut away the last sliver of brain matter covering the rusty bullet and grasp the metal firmly with your forceps. Got it. But as you extract it, the monitors suddenly shriek in alarm.
What's happening?
Blood pressure's bottoming out. We've got a bleeder. Your basic surgical training kicks in as you assess the bleeding. Direct pressure, quick closure, packing the site. Direct pressure. We need direct pressure, but carefully. Dom, put your hand here.
Like this?
You guide his hands to the right spot, hoping you're applying enough pressure without damaging the tissue. That's it. Now, hold steady while I try to see where it's coming from.
The bleeding slows, but it doesn't stop completely.
Come on. Finally, you see it. I got it. Hastily, you clip the puncture. Dom's eyes lurch to the machines to watch his father's blood pressure tick upward.
You did it.
With the immediate danger past, your hands start to shake with leftover adrenaline. I mean, yeah, I guess I did. The reality of how close you came to losing him hits you both at once. Your eyes meet across the surgical field, something unspoken passing between you, and then...
Thank you.
Before you can respond, Dom closes the distance between you, pulling you into his arms, and his lips find yours.
This isn't very hygienic.
His mouth claims yours with a desperate need, his hands gripping your waist as he pulls you closer. Each stroke of his tongue sends electricity coursing through you, and you find the urge to touch him, to tangle your fingers in his hair. Aren't you wearing gloves and they have blooded brain all over them? Romance. You pull back, breathless. Your pulse thundering in your ears, and all you can think to say is, "You're welcome." After closing, which we weren't even done yet, and giving a statement to the police, you pause in Xander's doorway, your eyes gravitating to Dom's dozing frame in the chair beside the bed. Even sleeping, his presence commands attention. Your eyes wander, digging in the borrowed scrub sprinkled from the day's chaos, hanging perfectly from his frame. Your gentle knock rouses him as he startles, his hand going to his weapon before his eyes even open. "Just me." He relaxes instantly, but you can't help but notice the tension still lingering in his frame. Why so jumpy?
You mean besides the impromptu active shooter drill?
He runs a hand through his disheveled hair with a heavy sigh.
I decided to tell Neil the truth about Dad. Let's just say he didn't take it well. He'll be here soon.
And you think he'd try to hurt you? He's your brother.
I trust Neil with my life, but I have to plan for everything. In our world, you can never be too careful.
You sure you're not just still shaken from earlier?
Dad was right. Death isn't just a possibility in our line of work, it's inevitable.
Something in his voice makes your heart ache.
I didn't just expect it to come for both of you at once.
And here I thought you were fearless.
I thought so too, right up until the woman turned a gun on you.
He stands prowling towards you with barely contained frustration.
Which is exactly the problem. You make me vulnerable.
That's... I mean, it is what his father said he needed. Also, yeah, that's not her fault, but also that is sweet. So, the bottom two options I want to go with, but I'll go with sweet. Big bad mob boss, brought low by little old me.
You think it's funny?
He steps closer, fire in his eyes, but you don't back down. No. That skipped too quickly. He pauses, your words finally catch up to him through his anger. When his eyes meet yours, there's nothing but pure heat behind them.
That isn't helping.
He moves closer, backing you against the doorframe, his presence overwhelming your senses.
I worried about you. The second I left the OR, you were all that was on my mind, and now that you're here.
He presses his forehead to yours, and you stare into his eyes. Raw desperation stares back.
All I want to do is hold you and make sure nothing bad ever happens to you again. What the hell am I supposed to do with that?
Admission comes out like a growl, as if he's angry at the truth of it. If I'm honest, I was afraid I would never leave the OR again. More afraid of what would happen to your dad. Fine, the second I heard your voice. We'll go with that one. Knew you wouldn't let me have all the fun.
You call that fun?
What can I say? I live for danger.
Then you came to the right family.
There's relief beneath his anger, and as his hands find your face, thumbs stroking your cheeks.
I'll always come for you.
But
no matter what. Because you're mine.
The possessiveness in his voice makes heat pull low in your belly, even as something rebellious stirs in your chest. Is that what you think? His eyes darken as he catches the defiance in your tone.
It's what I know.
He slides a hand to your breasts, just gripping possessively as the other traces of your inner thigh, making you shiver with need. body melts against you as his touch leaves trails of fire across your skin, each caress making you ache for more.
Why else would your body respond to mine like this?
His mouth claims yours, hot, demanding. You can't stop the groan that escapes you as he works his way down your jaw. That doesn't mean you own me. I'm not some conquest you can stake ownership in just because I like the way you... His mouth captures yours mid-sentence, his tongue sweeping past your lips as his hand pulls your hips flush against him.
You were saying...
Your skin burns everywhere it touches, and you find yourself melting in his embrace despite the protests. I was just saying I'm not yours.
That's weird, because you smell like mine.
He drags his nose along the column of your throat, inhaling deeply.
You taste like mine.
His tongue traces the shell of your ear before trailing down your neck and making you shiver.
You even sound like you're mine, don't you?
Everything he knew wants to deny him, to keep him from giving him the satisfaction, but instead you drag his mouth back to yours, desperate for more of his touch. Then a figure shoves open the door and strides into the room, and you feel Dom break away, grasping the handle of his weapon, only to come face to face with Xander's respiratory therapist, who quickly step in front of Dom, blocking the nurse's view of the gun as you straighten your clothing. Oh, excuse me, Dr. Gould. I was just coming to give Mr. Coyne a breathing treatment. Of course. We were just
leaving. Good night.
Without another word, Dom guides you out with a hand at the small of your back, the heat of his touch burning through your clothes. On the hallway, the fluorescent hospital lights shine brightly, illuminating everything that just happened. God, the way I just melted into him. Let him talk to me like that. He barely had to touch me and I was ready to let him take whatever he wanted. Your heart races as memories of his touch flash through your mind, each one making you throb with renewed need. But as he reaches for you, you step back and his expression shifts.
What's wrong?
Dom, what are we doing? A patient held me at gunpoint because I'd neglected her son to go to you. Instead of re-examining my priorities like a normal person, I'm making out with you in your father's hospital room as you claim me. It's toxic. We are toxic. How? Seriously? You pace the hallway, but Dom catches your arm, pulling you to a stop. His body cages you against the wall as he closes the distance between you.
I am toxic, you mean?
I didn't say that.
You didn't have to, but you're right. I don't date, Gray. I don't buy flowers, and I'm not the guy you bring home to Mom. That's not my lot in life.
His dark eyes lock with yours, and the intensity in them makes your stomach flip.
I'm the guy who threatens to kill for you, who loses my mind at the thought of you ever being in a moment of pain ever again.
His fingers graze your bandaged arm, and you gasp as the sharp stinging mingles with the lingering pleasure of his earlier touches.
And if it makes me toxic, then so be it, because you love it.
Dom,
tell me to stop.
His mouth hovers just inches from yours, his breath ghosting across your lips.
Tell me you don't want this. Tell me that you don't want me to take you somewhere private and remind you why you melted for me earlier.
Your whole body throbs at the memory of his possessive touches, at the promise of more.
Oh, yeah, we know where this will go. I know each and every one of you wants me to give in, but we can't. Because you two won't let us.
Just say, I can't. Your words come out breathless and you take a step back, needing space to think. Miss Morton was wrong about a lot of things, but she made me see that priorities are all over the place. I don't know who I am right now, and I need to figure that out before someone gets hurt.
You mean someone else?
You turn and start down the hall, each step harder than the last.
This isn't over, and you know it, and I know it.
The promise in his voice makes you shiver, but you force yourself to keep walking. That's what I'm afraid of. Later, you're woken up by the sound of your phone rattling against your nightstand, and you flick on the light as you fumble to answer it. Hello? Dr. Gould, thank God. You need to get down to Franklin Memorial Hospital. One of your patients is coding, and Mr. Coyne? You race to get dressed, texting Dom with one hand and reaching for your keys with the other. But as you cross the threshold, Dom, hot on your tail, a nurse catches your gaze and shakes her head.
What happened?
Linda's gaze glances over his scrubs and hands Dom's his father's chart without a second thought. The on-call doctor said it was a bleed in the brain. The clip wasn't placed correctly during a surgery and it didn't hold. I was just going to contact the next of kin. Don't bother. Your stomach drops as you turn to the door to find Neil staring daggers at you and Dom. Looks like the gang's all here. Thank you for playing Season 1 of Do No Harm. We hope you enjoyed it, and please keep an eye out for Season 2 coming soon. Alright, without further ado, I'll say this. I'll give it a 6 out of 10, maybe pushing a 7 out of 10 on this one. It was okay. I know people do things for really silly reasons, and I'll say the following about Miss Morton. That was the dumbest reason I've ever had. Your son is correct me if I'm wrong, right? Her son is alive. Right? The option right there, which I selected, was Jordan needs his mother. Okay, so, literally and figuratively, he's still alive. The mother will go away for forever, unless they, for whatever stupid reason, allow her redemption or allow her to not to go away. So his mother goes away, so Jordan still doesn't have his mother. It's crazy, isn't it? Anyway, there's just a few flaws in the writing and story for this. Everything else is okay. I'm sure book 2, which I have not seen even a sneak on, just in case you guys wondered. Any and all books, stories, games, anything that I ever cover, I take no look at anyone else's playthroughs. I don't do anything. I completely am woefully ignorant. So I've stayed out of touch with choices for how long now? 4+ months. We're only starting to now get the ball rolling on this stuff again. So yeah, no, I haven't touched this stuff in a very, very long time. So something tells me book 2 is going to be kind of like Neil and his brother having a little fallout. You put your dad at risk. He at least was in a coma. And so he could have lived longer had it not been for the rushed surgery. You know, all this other stuff, right? And you know, also, I'll lean towards this. Are we sure, like, was there no guard? Why didn't Dom stay? Like, I just find it un-Dom behavior that he didn't stay with his father in that critical of a position. Like, you know Dom woulda. So, what was so important that Dom left? And is Dom going to blame himself? These are all things to think about. And whatnot for book 2. So, aside from that, if you're still here, please remember that if you did enjoy, I know that we're playing catch-up, but if you did enjoy, to like, share, and subscribe. Share this channel, share the video, share this community. I look at all of you as my family. And I look at this community, each and every one of you that talks to me, that leaves comments, that has one-on-one conversations with you, everything and anything. I look at you as a part of this family. I'm a content creator, and I'm probably the only one on this planet that will say that. I will never, ever not read your comments. I even do it on stream. I pull it up and I let everybody tune into the streams and my thinking and me answering and everything else, literally and figuratively. So again, I look at all of you as my family. We don't need to be blood related. Family is who you choose. So just remember that. So, it doesn't matter who you are, what walk of life, how tall you are, the color of your skin, none of that matters. None of it. I've just always wanted to just grow this family the way I have. That's it. So help me do that. Okay? Aside from that, hopefully you're all having a good day. Hopefully a good week. Remember, stay positive to one another, right? The world's a little crazy right now. And we don't need to hurt one another, especially over feelings, opinions, or anything else like that. Everybody's entitled to their feelings and opinions. So, don't be stupid, okay? I was just saying. Otherwise, thank you all once again for watching. Catch you all later. Peace out.